director came around the corner, and she said, "I need to talk to you." And I looked up, and I just looked at her because I knew that this was happening today. And I said, "Yes." And her lips started twitching, and her eyes filled up with tears. And she said, "I'm so sorry." So we went upstairs to my general manager, Lee Meredith's office. It was Tracy Rogers, my news director, myself, and Lee. And went up there, and Lee told me, how unpleasant this was. And the thing that sticks with me about that moment was he said, "Tomorrow is our holiday food drive, and you're part of this family, and you won't be there." Now, this is a corporate man. This is a businessman. And his voice cracked, and a tear came to his eye. And I could tell that, he was really very saddened. And he said, "This has nothing to do with your performance. You've done everything we've asked you to do, and more." And I have, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So left and went back downstairs, and first person I saw, this is typical Donna. I come downstairs, and I don't have my access card to get in, so I'm thinking, okay, here I am. I'm terminated, and I'm wandering around the lobby because I can't get back in because I didn't take my card. Right. So I'm looking in the door thinking, who's going to let me in? And I see my studio person, Terrence Nickelberry, and I had done a story about Terrence Nickelberry's father a few months ago. His father, Mr. Nickelberry, is a sanitation worker here in Memphis to this day. Marched with Dr. King, hid under his bed when Dr. King was assassinated. I love the Nickelberry family. So Terrence let me in, and he said, "Miss D," he calls me Miss D. "Miss D, I've been looking for you. They got such and such and such and such," and he's naming off all these people. I said, "Well, T, honey, I need you to get me some boxes and help me get my stuff together. Because I'm leaving too." He said, "Come on, Miss D, now I'm not playing. I'm serious." I said, "Terrence, I'm serious too, sweetheart. Can you get my boxes for me?" So he hung his head and took off to go get his boxes. And I walked around the corner, and I saw my producer, one of my very close producers that I work with. We would set up all of these wonderful interviews with Oprah and Paula Dean and everyone. We'd work on these together. I said, "Hey, come here. Let's go talk. I got something to tell you." So we went in the dressing room, and he was smiling, and I was smiling at him. And I said, "Sweetheart, I'm getting ready to pack my stuff." They let me go. And Bev, he fell into my arms crying. And I just stood there and kind of rubbed his hair for a little while. And that was when I started crying. That was when I realized, oh my goodness, I think that there might actually be a void here. So we stood there for a minute, and we talked. We got ourselves together, because I'm like, wait a minute now, I can't be walking around here looking all busted. I've got to try to keep my composure. Well, about that time, Joe Birch comes running around the corner and into the dressing room. He says, "My dear, my sweetheart, I am so sorry." And he's got these huge tears in his eyes, and he hugs me, and he's crying. And he had gotten to me before I was able to get to him. So anyway, that was my afternoon. It took me about 3 hours to get to my desk, get my stuff boxed up. Everyone wanted to say goodbye. They were very gracious in allowing that to happen. And during the 5 o'clock newscast, during a commercial break, I just peeked my head in the studio, and I blew a kiss at Dave, and I blew a kiss at Joe. And Jarvis wasn't in there at the time. And I left. So most people, you think when you get laid off, you go home. Right. And you think about what happened.
Yeah, but I heard that folks took you out.
Honey, this was a pilgrimage. It took me 8 hours to get fired and go home. My girlfriend, who lives right around the corner from the station, said, "Hey, come here. This is what girlfriends do. Just come here before you go home. I want to talk to you." So I went to her house. And about this time, this is a funny story I'll never forget. My phone rings, and it's Mama. Now, you know how Mama is.
I know how Mama is.
Mama and them. Well, I answer the phone. Mama says, "Donna, why aren't you on the news?" I said, "Well, Mama, I got laid off." "No, you didn't." And Mama, "Yeah, I did." "Donna, stop playing." "Bev, my own mother did not believe me.
Okay.
I had to put my friends on the phone. She didn't believe it until she heard it from somewhere else." So a couple of friends wanted to take me to dinner, so we went to dinner, and people stopped by and hugged my neck and cried, and and people wanted me to stop by on my way home. Just, "Hey, let me see you, make sure you're okay." And boy, it was exhausting. And it was just one of those nights. I got home, checked messages. I had so many emails.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is love.
Mm-hmm.
People are reaching out to me. People
Right.
that I never expected to.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, you know, people, I had a letter from a guy who was a student at the university. He says, you know what, you helped me write one of my best papers 3 years ago, and I never thanked you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, man, I've forgotten this incident. You know, I never knew I touched this person's life.
Mm-hmm.
So that night I finally went to bed, and it was one of those things. I slept for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I kind of scratched my head and thought, did yesterday really happen?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so, of course, it's just been 2 days of emails and phone calls and well wishes. And that's how it went down, Bev.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was very sweet. And,
Okay.
and I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I know that people empathize.
Because what my girlfriend wanted, she says, I'm going to stop watching Channel 5. I said, look, Diane, you can't do that because things happen. You know, and I know you were like, yay, but, you know, just think about and I was talking to her and I says, you know, across the country, people are getting laid off and things happen. So people get laid off, car company, you're going to stop by, you know, so, you know, and I know.
You know, it's just such a very personal decision. It is. By the time just like your listeners, they love Bev. And they reach out to you every day.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. It's a really intimate relationship with you that you have with your viewers. And I've heard a lot of that sentiment. You know, people just have to process. And even still,
you do.
Even still, they're stunned. You know.
Well, we're talking to Donna Davis this morning, and I know some of your viewers, who are some of my listeners, want to talk to Donna too. Hold on, callers. We will let you say hello to Donna Davis this morning. 535-9342 is our number. I'm Bev at WDIA.